What a delight and what a pleasure to have a guy who's always fun to talk to and is the newly minted long-term contract quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy. Brock, you've been on with us before. Brian Murphy, Markus Boucher, Murph, and Marcus on the UMass guest line. First and foremost, good morning and congratulations. How are you?
Good morning, Brock.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me, man. I'm really excited and obviously an exciting time for my family and I and this organization. But, man, am I excited to be an honor. So.
Yeah. Well, here's the biggest question, though, is did you call Tyrese Halliburton and congratulate him on last night?
Not yet, man. I said this last year, man. I'm just letting him do his thing throughout the series, and then after I'll shoot him a text. But, man, he's a baller, and he and I are always texting and keeping in touch, and want nothing but the best for my guy. So
honestly, it's kind of funny. And for people who don't know, Tyrese and Brock, great buddies from Iowa State together. I wonder in some way, do you get inspired by what they did and what he does?
Yeah, he's had an incredible playoff run so far, and like some really iconic moments and hitting shots and just being exciting, especially for the Indiana fan base and everything. But and obviously going back to Iowa State, man, I saw him do all those things in Ames, and so for him to be able to do this on this level, I couldn't be happier for him.
Yeah, I mean, Brock, did you guys ever sit back, have a couple conversations about maybe one day you'd be playing in NFC Championship games and Super Bowls, and Tyrese would be out here playing in the Eastern Conference Finals?
We didn't have those conversations, but we were just trying to get through accounting and stats together. But outside of that, we were always, talking and joking around, going from class to class, and we got pretty close there, so it's pretty cool.
You are definitely riding with the Pacers, though, in this series, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, listen, another really important question. Listen, it's morning radio. We're not going to hit you too hard. Maybe one or two negative questions, but mostly positive. I need to know, where were you? What hole were you on at Olympic Club when you got the call?
We were about to tee off hole 17, and man, I had a bunch of missed calls from John Lynch, and my agent's like, dude, you got to answer. The news is out. And I was like, oh, shoot. And so I was out there on hole 17 and calling John Lynch, Kyle, Jed York. They were all together. So it was pretty cool. So
that's a long par 5. What'd you make on that hole?
I think I bogeyed that one, sadly. I'm not the best yet. I'm getting better, but yeah.
And Jenna plays, huh?
Oh yeah, she grew up playing golf and stuff in her town and stuff, so she can go out there and hit it straight and compete and stuff. So it's been fun. And
then I guess my biggest question is, because those of us who grew up around here and have had the great fortune to have an Olympic Club burger dog with cheese and all the fixins, did you celebrate with an Olympic Club burger dog?
Oh yeah, I had I think 4 that day. So, and they were telling me the record out there is Steph Curry. I guess Steph Curry ate 9 in one day or something like that. That's what I'm hearing. So I got to go back and try to beat that.
That's perfect. Just real quick follow up. So I've been lucky enough to be out there a few times, and we've always settled on 1.5. So for every foursome you get 6, and so because everybody says you can't have 1, but 2 might be too many. So we get 1.5 each. Cut a knife down. But you said the hell with that. I'm going 4.
Yeah, no, for sure. Had 4. I made sure that when I went in, I was hungry so that I could fit in 4 somehow. But, yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, and Brock, it feels like over this offseason, we've seen a lot of photos of a lot of 49ers teammates going out there on the golf course together. Saw you out playing golf with Ricky Pearsall. So if you had to put together your foursome of the 4 best golfers from the 49er team, who would they be?
Man, Kyle Juszczyk golfs pretty well, and he's consistent. I would say him. Christian McCaffrey, as of late, has been hot on the course. And then, gosh, I mean, Ricky, I love Ricky, but he just started, so probably not Ricky. But George, if you guys saw George Kittle hit a driver, it's insane. He uses this 2007 Nike Sasquatch, and it flies. It's hilarious.
What about the guy you were playing with, Jake Brendel? How about that? How's an O-lineman doing?
Yeah, he's good. He's consistent, and so I golf with him a lot. And then his wife golfs, so it's great to have him and his wife go with me and my wife. So, but I would say the other guys for sure.
Oh, man. The voice you hear is Brock Purdy, of course. Got the deal done with the 49ers, and so now we start to ask about that kind of thing here. So, we heard your press conference yesterday and saw you do your thing here. We were talking about the idea that, and you addressed this briefly yesterday, about the quote-unquote narrative that Brock is a nice guy and he will do what's best for the team. So can you sort of revisit that topic of, but I also want what I deserve?
Yeah, I think, just where we're at now, going into year 4, what I've shown and proved and done, I think just the whole narrative of, being the last draft pick and just being this nice guy kind of thing, like it's all good. People can think that and say that, but at the end of the day, like I just want to come in here and win games and have this respect. And I have that respect from my teammates and this organization, and that's all that matters. But I'm not really sure what people were saying before, like, oh, he's going to take a pay cut or this or that. But for me, I have to get what I deserved. And more than anything, it just shows the organization putting their faith and trust in me to be able to lead this organization. And I'm just extremely grateful that they did that.
And Brock, now going to year 4, you just turned 25 this past December. How do you feel about yourself overall as a player, and is it possible that you still think you have your best football ahead of you?
No doubt. Watching the film from, last year and the last couple of years and understanding where I'm at as a player, with Shanahan and Kubiak and Lombardi here, I'm so excited to be able to go out and just continue to chip away and get better. They've given me a couple things I need to work on this offseason, and obviously we have new faces in the locker room and there's new guys and the culture is a little bit different. And so the challenge is always different. So for me, it excites me that, I have my best ball ahead of me, and I obviously can help elevate the guys around me as well.
We're talking to Brock Purdy here, of course, kind enough to hop on the UMA guest line. You mentioned Lombardi, and most people might not know. Brian Griese, your quarterback coach, left. Mick Lombardi is in. I'd love to hear your reaction to both moves. How bummed you were that Brian Griese left, and what's happening with Mick?
Yeah, obviously I have nothing but love and respect for Griese and what he's done for me, believing in me and getting me here, and then obviously pouring into me just over the last couple of years with his experience of playing quarterback and in the league. And I learned so much from him, and I'm just extremely grateful for him and our relationship. Obviously he stepped away, and was extremely grateful for the years spent with him. But then obviously Mick came in, and he's been awesome, man. Just the energy that he brings every single day, and he's pushing me, man, to work on things and find ways to always getting better every single day. Whether we're in the film room, out in the field, everybody feels his energy, and it's been pretty cool working with him. So excited to go to war with him this year.
Yeah, so kind of just following up on that, I think people were concerned. 49ers fans were concerned that a continuity would be lost. So how could you address that, a change in continuity?
I mean, that's just part of the game, man. You got coaches that are here for a while, then they get new opportunities, or they have things in life that come up and they go another route. So that's just part of it. And so for me, I have to be a professional in where I'm at, and I have to always be able to adapt and learn from someone new and find a way to win. Brady, Manning, like all the guys, everyone goes through it, all the quarterbacks throughout their career. And so it's part of it. But for me, it's how can I be grateful with each coach and learn something new from each coach, and then adapt with that and apply that to my game. So that's just where I'm at.
Brock, we saw a lot of roster changes offseason also, and coming off a 6-11 season, there's been a lot of conversation about whether or not your guys' Super Bowl window is still open. Personally and as a team, do you guys still believe that the Super Bowl window is still open?
100%. I think every single year we'll have a chance. We have our core group of guys that we've had here for a while that have established, our winning culture here. Obviously we had some stuff, go awry last year with injuries and whatnot, but I think at the end of the day, we have what it takes here. And what I mean by that is even if we have new guys come in, free agents, rookies that have to come in and play, I think we definitely have what it takes to find ways to win and be the best version of ourselves. And obviously we believe in Kyle and what he's done here, what he's established, and his game plans every single week, we believe. And so at the end of the day, man, it's 11 on 11, 4 quarters of football, and you try to find a way to win. And I definitely believe and know that we have what it takes.
Do you guys hear the noise if somebody on ESPN or KNBR says, no, the window's closing? Heck, Dante Whitner said that yesterday. Do you hear that?
I mean, I'm sure some guys do, but I could tell you, man, no one buys into anything of what, the outside world says. Just the energy here within our locker room, out on the practice field, everyone's got a chip on their shoulder, man, and which excites me because I feel like, the best teams and situations can come from when people are, doubting you or saying some stuff, and you just put that aside and you go to work and you just prove yourself right throughout the season and the year. So I know we have a bunch of young minds in here excited and hungry to go prove themselves to each other, and that's all that matters.
Brock Purdy here joining us in the morning after he did his press conference and signed the big contract. A pleasure to have the 49er quarterback on the UMA guest line. So you talked about Mick Lombardi and Brian Griese's part of the deal, coaches leave and everything. So I'd love to kind of apply that same question to what happened in March when so many of your teammates left, and you even addressed yesterday Dre Greenlaw. Now, there was good news when you guys re-upped Kittle and Warner and you and et cetera, but I wanted to know how Brock Purdy processed the March departures of all those players.
Yeah, man. Obviously, it's tough initially just because you've been through so much stuff with all these guys throughout the years. Like I said, Dre Greenlaw, Huff, Aaron Banks, like all these guys, man, that, you step on the field with and you try to win games and you have won games and big moments together. So when you see them go just a different route, it can be tough initially. But for me, it's like, man, that's part of the game, and you got to find a way. And that's like the fun part, the competitive part of this whole thing is, the new challenges. You got new guys coming in, and how can you create a relationship with them, have this authentic brotherhood that lasts throughout the season. Like, we're about to go through this crazy journey from beginning to end. And so for me, it excites me, the new challenge of bringing guys along, teaching them like how we do things here in San Francisco. And so it's going to be nothing but great memories and everything. But as part of it, free agency, guys leave, and I'm happy that guys have gone on and gotten paid and get what they deserve. But, it's just part of the game.
Murph just mentioned the contract extensions for also Fred Warner and George Kittle this offseason. And earlier in this interview, you talked about what it's like being on the golf course with George Kittle. I got to be honest with you. It seems like George Kittle is a fun hang, regardless if you're at a wrestling show or maybe a Nashville Predator hockey game. And I saw some social media clips of you guys hanging out this offseason. Talk to us about how that chemistry helps translate to the chemistry on the field between you and George Kittle.
Yeah, man, it's huge. Obviously, just being able to communicate and, things pop up throughout the season and different looks and schemes. And so because George and I are so close, we do things off the field and we're hanging out. Like, he's my guy and I'm his. And so we can get on the field and just be real with each other. Hey, I missed that throw there. That's on me. Or, hey, man, I need you here on 6 steps breaking in. Like, it's little things like that. And we just got this tight brotherhood where, we're able to be real with each other. We're able to pick each other up when we need to. And that translates because we have a real relationship with each other.
Yeah,
so.
George is the kind of guy. We did the Dwight Clark Legacy event last night, and George just on his own time just volunteered to show up as a surprise for everyone. He's that kind of guy, isn't it? I mean, that's what you guys get every day.
Yeah, no, George is always going to be doing something fun and spontaneous for everybody and the whole team. And it's pretty cool because he's a vet. And, sometimes you see vets come in and think, like, oh, I'm too old for, doing this or that. But George has got this young kid energy, and he brings it every day for the team. And it's just little things, man, in our locker room and on the field that he does that, reminds everybody, like, oh, my gosh, like, even though he's a vet, man, he's going to bring it. He's going to bring the juice every day. And we love him, man. It's a blessing playing with him.
All right, Brock, I know we have a few minutes left. We wanted to start asking the big ones here. Are you a top 10 quarterback in the NFL?
Yes, sir.
So we make lists all the time, That's all we do here on Sports Talk Radio. Like, is that like something you hear about?
Like lists and stuff?
Yeah, like you put yourself amongst your peers.
Yeah, no, I think for sure I'm a top 10 quarterback. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to, create a list or anything right now. So,
all right. Now, the negative one, your O-line gets criticized by fans a lot. Really does. Like, we sit here every day and we do the show, and everybody's like, man, I'm so happy Warner's back. I'm so happy Kittle's back. I'm looking forward to a healthy McCaffrey. So many fans are so excited that you got your deal done and you're such a team player. But they say, man, if only he had an offensive line. What do you say to the fans out there who say your offensive line isn't good enough?
No, man, it's, every game and situation is so different, and things happen and whatnot. But those guys up front, man, I can tell you, like, they are war daddies. Like, every single day they're coming to work, getting better. I've got their back, they've got mine, and no, we're going to be just fine. And these guys here, man, have what it takes to have a successful season. And everybody's going to find out soon. So I've got their backs, man, and it's nothing but love. And I really do believe in these guys. I'm not just saying that to say that. Like, these guys have taken the next step this offseason, and we're all going to continue to grow together. So,
Brock, I also got a hard-hitting question about your offensive line. Does the new $53 million contract change your roommate situation with Nick Zakil?
I mean, marriage changed that last year, so he's got his own place now and whatnot. But man, I still have him all over for game nights and stuff, and it's funny because he came over and he's like, "Dude, I remember this or that in my room," and we're like, "Yeah, man, sorry." So,
no Christmas card with him this year?
I don't think so, but I mean, we might be able to change it up this year and go back to it. We'll see.
That's pretty funny, man. Hey, just kind of a serious one as we wrap up here. Faith is such a big part. You've been very open about faith, and you had a quote yesterday that said, "I didn't want to lose who I was." So what role did faith, your personal faith, play in this whole process?
Yeah, man, it's everything. You know, I'm not chasing the dollar sign in life and trying to rack up my net worth or anything like that. Like, I have this understanding of who I am in Jesus, and at the end of the day, when we die, we're not taking any of this with us. And so there's a Bible verse that talks about storing up treasure in heaven and not on earth. And so for me, it's, yes, I got paid well, and I hope and pray that I can continue to just steward the money in the right way to help people come to know Jesus and help out their life in our communities and all that. Like, that's hopefully what Jenna and I can do with this contract. And so, yeah, just not chasing after things of the world. So
you're saying that part of the deal is you guys want to create something for other people? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like you want to do some work, kind of?
Yeah, no doubt. I think I don't know if we start up some kind of foundation or help out other foundations that have been rolling and giving back to the community, you know, something like that. But, you know, helping out other ministries and people that are, you know, literally helping people in need in our country, in our communities here. Like, that's, I think, the desires of our hearts, and we'll see what happens and what arises. But definitely don't want to make this life about us and just storing up treasures here, man. So that's what I mean by it.
And then, like, kind of funny way to end the interview after all that. But you got to have something, right? We all have clothes on our back. You got to have a car. You got to have a house. The one that got so much attention yesterday was you at the end of the interview saying, "Yeah, I might get a bass boat." That caused a huge reaction. Everyone wants to follow up on that. What are we talking about here? Like, what's the bass boat that makes Brock Purdy happy?
I mean, growing up, I grew up in Arizona in the desert, and my dad's from Florida. So anytime we'd go home to Florida for him, I'm like, "Dad, like, why don't we have a bass fishing boat and, like, getting out?" And he's like, "Dude, we live in Arizona." And I was like, "All right." Well, like, just as I've grown up and stuff, I've always said, like, I love bass fishing. And so if I ever got the chance to buy a bass fishing boat, I would love to do that. And, you know, they're a little bit more expensive, but that's what I meant by it, just being able to take my family out there, take Jen out there, and try to go catch some bass. So hopefully that I'll be able to get that one day.
Now, Klay Thompson made himself pretty famous by constantly being out in the bay, and I believe bass are freshwater fish, not saltwater fish. But what's your interest in deep sea fishing? Is there any chance we're going to see Brock Purdy out in the bay throwing out a couple hooks?
I might be able to go out there and, fish in the bay and learn that. I haven't done that in my life, but I have heard that, you know, Klay Thompson, you should take that boat across the bay and people will see him out there and stuff. So I don't know, maybe I could follow in his footsteps.
All right, Brock. Well, listen, everybody's happy. No drama, man. You didn't want to carry this thing out, get some headlines?
No, sir. Let's get back to work. Let's go win some games, and it's all that matters.
So leave us like the Brock Purdy work detail for today. Like, how's Brock going to get better today?
Well, I'm going to go get in the tubs real quick, warm up my body, and then we got meeting at 8, and then we're going to go out in the field, warm up, and just get after it. Obviously throwing the routes to receivers and running backs, tight ends, and do a little team period at the end where we're just running through some plays. And then outside of that, we're going to lift and stretch, take care of my body, and maybe get on the golf course later. We'll see.
And have 9 burger dogs, right?
That's right. I got to break that record.
All right, Brock. Listen, it's always a pleasure to have you. Listen, 49ers fans are delighted. We're all happy to have you here. You're a great person to talk to and a fun person to watch win football games, too. So we will let you go. We'll chase you down sometime this summer. Congratulations to you and Jenna and the whole family and everything you worked for, everything you achieved. As you said, defy the odds. You did it, and now I know you want to do more. So have fun. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Brock.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Go Niners.
Brock Purdy on The Sports Leader.